Wait, what the hell am I spotlighting this movie for? This movie came out way past 1995. Don't worry, there's a perfectly logical explanation as to why I'm spotlighting Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas. It's because between movies like Saving Christmas, God's Not Dead, and War Room, we are now living in a golden age of a different kind of exploitation film. One that thoroughly needs to be explored more than just two people talking about it in a car, and two more people talking about it in a car, and two more people. Wow, a lot of people have talked about Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas. It's my show. I can talk about whatever the hell I want.
Oh, man, I got just the track for you. How about some Family Force 5? Angels we have heard oh high. Come on, people, let's do this. Yeah, I want to see a choir in here. God Squad, you know how we do.
It's been 1 year since the release of Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas, and in that time, the movie has gone on to become the Room of Christmas movies, or the Birdemic of Christmas movies, or insert notoriously bad movie here of Christmas movies. How bad is it? In theaters, the movie was known as Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas, but now it's just Saving Christmas with Kirk Cameron's name over it. He has completely given up ownership of Saving Christmas after Ernest rightfully put a stake in that claim years ago. But surely there's gotta be some critics that liked it. 0% Rotten Tomatoes, no, nothing there. Okay, let's find some crazy people. A wonderful defense of Christmas traditions, says Dr. Ben Carson. And that's only the 12th craziest thing he's said. Really, that's the choice on the other side? A guy who liked Saving Christmas versus a guy who was in Ghosts Can't Do It? According to the Dove Foundation, Saving Christmas is the perfect movie for the Christmas season. Great, so now we're getting bars of soap to review movies? How can I trust their taste when they're so used to cleaning out assholes? But the best is Phil Robertson, who says it will change the way you think. Oh, so is that why your kids aren't yuppies anymore? In Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas, Kirk Cameron does indeed save Christmas by talking to his grumpy brother-in-law in the car for half the movie while linking various Christmas icons to the Bible in the same way a psychopath links Stanley Kubrick's The Shining to Indian genocide. What the hell company put this out? Samuel Goldwyn? You put out Master and Commander, and Super Size Me, and The Squid and the Whale! I expect this kind of thing from Liberty University. After all, they've been training champions of Christ since 1971. Seemed like a good idea in 1971. They were so baked they wanted walking on water to be a college sport. And now here's something we're gonna see a lot of. Kirk Cameron explaining the point of the movie.
Welcome, everyone. I am so glad you're here.
He's straight.
I love the cookies. I love the fire. I love the presents. I love the stockings. I love the tree. I love the fudge.
You also clearly love fake sets because that's what you're sitting on. After growing pains, do you just live on a soundstage?
There's something that makes people want to be more kind. At Christmas, they want to be more compassionate.
Very true. Hey, Kirk, tell us your feelings on gay marriage. Or continue talking about random objects you want to have sex with.
And I love hot chocolate.
That perhaps you should pour some in that obviously empty cup. But then Kirk begins to talk about the people trying to take Christmas away from him, probably his family members, because all of these lights keep running up the electric bill.
There's this one group over here that says, hey, if you want to sing your songs and do your stuff at Christmas time, that's fine, but tone it down. Don't sing so loud.
To be fair, it's 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning. Who are the other people who hate Christmas?
You know, everything you're doing, all this stuff, the images, the characters, the traditions, it's all wrong. It has nothing to do with Christmas.
Bastards! If taking a ball of snow and throwing it into your sleeping cousin's face doesn't signify the birth of the baby Jesus, then I don't know what does. Except hot chocolate.
You know, what are they going to do next? Tell us hot chocolate's bad for us? The Druids invented it?
First, you should actually put some hot chocolate in that empty cup for them to say that, and then you should thank the Aztecs. Seriously, is there a point in all of this?
Or maybe we're listening to the wrong people.
How can that be? I'm watching a movie that's recommended to me by the guy who equated homosexuality with bestiality. So when's Santa gonna show up and murder people? Sorry, I'm just so used to Killer Santas being on this show.
Just maybe. Someone like Santa Claus is actually on the team?
What team is that? Team Empty Cups of Cocoa? What do you leave out for him? Plastic cookies and an empty glass of milk? You gotta love when a movie's production logo comes in after the movie has started. And with sound effects from a Saw movie, the hell kind of family film is this? It's one that starts out with a long-haired caveman who looks like every burnt-out projectionist cutting together film of Saving Christmas. And I'm pretty sure that's the Krampus lingering around outside.
There was a time when we didn't mind hearing the same stories over and over again.
And then Platinum Dunes came around and started remaking shit that we love. Nothing like KIRK once again telling us why this movie was made.
You and I are in a story right now. And how we enter this story matters.
So make sure you enter this story good and baked. Just when I'm once again wondering what the point is, the opening credit sequence starts up, which makes me wonder, is this movie ever gonna start? This is a nice animated opening. Too bad I can't see most of it because the credit font is so fucking huge. Edited by Post Mill Factory? What the hell is that? Is that the editing equivalent of AAV Creative Unit writing most of Godfrey Ho's movies? Given that Kirk Cameron is credited as neither writer nor director, shouldn't it be Darren Doan's Saving Christmas, since he does direct, co-write, and co-star in the film? You know how Adam Sandler uses movies to score a free vacation? I think Kirk uses movies as an excuse to throw a house party.
Hey everybody, that's me, enjoying the party.
I know, you've introduced yourself twice now, and your name is part of the title. One of his sisters is in this, which I guess means Candace Cameron was too good for this movie.
No one loves a Christmas party more than her.
Yeah, you can tell by her face that says, "Will everyone please use a goddamn coaster?" Any more weird family members?
You got Santa Claus. Where'd you find him? What do you have to pay a guy like that? It's Uncle Bill.
Uncle Bill must stay 1,000 yards away from school playgrounds, Uncle Bill? This is a terrible party, especially when everyone isn't nearly as jolly as Kirk.
Do I need to break some legs? Is he not treating you right?
No.
Because I'll take him out in the back right now.
No.
How very Christian of you. But when a family member is sad, the important thing comes first.
All right, who wants hot chocolate?
You already drank all the hot chocolate, Kirk, and I think you're this close to eating the empty cups. The sad sack at the party is Kirk's brother-in-law, Christian White. Yes, the character's name is Christian White. Goes right along with Kirk's character's name, bad former teen star. Christian looks depressed, probably because he's played by director Darren Doan, who's thinking, I used to direct Blink-182 videos. What happened to my life? But Kirk is here to tell us what his real problem is.
You just don't know someone's story until you see what's going on inside his head.
So Christian is about to murder a bunch of children? Or he could just be annoyed by certain party guests.
Saved and sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and that with a burning fire.
And?
Made evident by speaking in tongues. Of course.
Well, so this is what Kirk Cameron thinks black people are, huh?
If we don't have Crazy Shirt Fridays, it's the end for us, man. That's all we got. What else do we get? Floor 2? I don't want floor 2. You know what happens down in floor 2? I don't want to find out, because I'm on floor 4, and I like it that way. We're going to keep it that way. We're going to march if we have to. Straight power.
What the fuck? Did he just say straight power? Anyone who ever uses the term straight power is most certainly not straight. You might as well just walk in and say, hello, I'm Kirk Cameron. Oh God, he's still going.
Crazy Shirt Fridays. Do you know how many crazy shirts I got that my wife gave me for Christmas? What am I gonna do with those?
Eventually, his audio just cuts out and the music plays over him rambling like a jackass. Did you seriously put him in the movie just to literally make him dance? I think I'd want to get the hell out of there too.
And if that person goes missing from the Christmas party, especially if it's at his own home, a good place to look would be somewhere quiet.
Maybe he wants to be left alone. You ever think about that? And now the action sequence of the film. Car talking.
I'm driving by a store and I see a little girl and her mom. The little girl's got this look on her face like...
Okay, Christian, seriously, did you just shoot up a shopping mall? And now the first person in the movie to have a point about something.
How many kids could we have fed? How many wells could we have dug? Yeah. That's Christmas.
Good point. I sure hope Kirk has an answer here.
I hear you. I get it.
My man.
Oh, well, okay. I knew this movie was short, but I didn't think it was this short.
You're all wrong.
About what?
But everything you just said.
Wait, how could he be wrong? What about what you said earlier?
Something that makes people bring others in from out of the cold and help them, clothe them, feed them.
My mistake. I didn't realize you were just talking about being kind to yourself. Now let's make Christian feel bad for wanting to be a Christian.
You drank the Kool-Aid.
This coming from a guy who once made a movie where he compared his troubled marriage to Jesus dying on the cross? Okay, maybe I'm being a Christmas grumpus. Perhaps I should let the man speak.
Let's start with your snow globe.
Thank you, because all Christian morality tales begin with the phrase, let's start with the snow globe. Continue.
If you had to pick one valuable thing in all of the decorations around your house at Christmas time, it would probably be your nativity set.
Close, it's mistletoe. Daddy's getting laid tonight. But saving Christmas isn't just about saving Christmas. It's about saving history.
This was a child that was born into a world where the world power wanted to kill him just for being born.
King Herod's Massacre of the Innocents. It's that thing that's never referenced anywhere outside the Bible. And then it gets dark.
You need to think of Herod's soldiers moving through the streets, finding babies and murdering them.
Hell, you don't even need to think about it when we can just show you. What was that other thing Kirk said earlier?
We thought that maybe the stories were a bit too scary. We got nervous that the wolf or the witch might actually give him nightmares.
All right, so here's a much more uplifting story of baby killing. Merry fucking Christmas. Here's their problem. The soldiers should have been looking for the whitest family in Bethlehem.
Joseph is there, surely amazed.
And gullible as fuck.
Let's take away Joseph.
Might as well. What does he have to do with the story? In fact, the rest start disappearing too, as if Marty McFly really fucked shit up.
Let's even take away the baby himself for just a moment. Now don't panic.
Oh, phew. Oh, I was really starting to panic. Good thing you didn't already show a bunch of babies getting killed. Don't worry, I'm sure this'll all make sense.
Swaddling cloth. What is this swaddling cloth?
I don't know, Kirk. What is the swaddling cloth?
But the Bible brings these cloths back into the story one more time. At his tomb.
He also probably shit himself at birth and at death too. So do I need to start worshiping the toilet? It'll make sense once he brings the wise men into it.
Why would they bring burial spices to a baby shower? The birth scene is a picture of a coming burial scene.
That's right, the wise men brought burial items to remind Jesus' mother that her son is gonna die horribly. These men aren't wise, they're assholes. So that's the true meaning of Christmas? Blankets?
I gotta admit, I never saw the whole swaddling cloth.
Nobody did. Nobody saw the swaddling cloth thing. Why don't you just put child-killing soldiers around the nativity?
I feel like we need to have like little Herod soldiers like all around, you know, the nativity for people to see like this is what's going on, right?
I was fucking kidding. That's what you want to do to make this party more Christian? Put up displays of Babyside? Oh good, I was worried we wouldn't see more of this guy. And what's with the cat whisperer? Who invited him to the party? Cat whisperer. Why can't I remember that guy's name?
This guy, apparently his name is Jackson Galaxy.
Of course it is!
Alright, thanks, review number 3. What now? Is he gonna compare Take Your Child to Work Day to the Selma to Montgomery March?
3 words. War on Christmas.
Here we go.
Cups up. All right, man, check this out. We gotta go on the offensive. It's like the rapper Sugar Free said, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Wait. What just happened? You mean if I just hold something over my mouth, I don't actually have to memorize the lines, and I can just read them off a script so they can be horribly ADR'd into the movie at a later date? Talk about war on sound editing.
I can't say Merry Christmas at work no more. I have to say Happy Holidays, but I am not in the days.
Yet another one of these Christian movies that claims that the man is trying to take Christmas away from them.
It's deeper than that, though. You heard about Area 51? What about Area 52?
Area 51? What?
I'm saying that's gotta cause at least Asperger's. Speaking of burgers, you probably ain't even had one in years. That ain't no ground beef, homie.
Now we're referencing the midnight screenings review of Glee 3D?
Coincidence? I think not. I saw loose change. I know what's up.
Whoa, is this turning into self-parody? You're comparing conspiracy theorists to the war on Christmas? I mean, I can't say I disagree, but why do you think that?
But I mean, that's obvious. Look, man, I saw it on Fox News, so you know it's true. War on Christmas. It's everywhere.
Okay, I would expect that sentence to genuinely come out of this movie's mouth, but not ironically like that tone suggests. Is this movie fucking with me? For a movie whose tagline is "Put Christ Back in Christmas," it just spoofed its own fan base. Good, put the cups down so there's no more bad ADR. This, by the way, is what all of the lines in Dancin' It's On sounded like. But swaddling clothes aren't gonna take the spoiled milk out of this Scrooge's empty cup of cocoa.
Newsflash! Christmas tree, not in the Bible. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Deuteronomy. Did I missed it? I miss them.
Yes, I forgot about the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Deuteronomy. KIRK doesn't so much have an answer for Christian, but just more questions.
That's what they would worship the God with. You know the gods.
What gods?
Jesus was not born in December, and we're celebrating his birthday in December. Hello?
When was he born?
Okay, I get the overall point of, dude, will you just lighten up and have a good time? But could you actually answer him instead of just sounding like a condescending prick?
I'm glad my sister married you.
And stop picturing your sister having sex. So where do Christmas trees come from?
Genesis.
Yes, in the beginning, God created the heavens, the earth, and tree lots. Makes sense to me.
But I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you're not getting ahead of yourself. This would be senseless no matter where you're at in the story. According to the foggy tree lot of purgatory, we hang up Christmas trees because there were fruit trees in the Garden of Eden, and God decorated his own house with both fruit and lights.
Beautiful green trees decorated with fruit, shimmering with lights inside a house. That's God's idea, not the Druids.
Well, that serves me right for thinking that the Druids invented electricity. Still waiting for that gotcha moment.
By the way, last I checked, it was God who made the winter solstice when he set the planets on their path around the sun.
I can't argue with that logic. That's like saying that God wrote To Kill a Mockingbird because it was written on paper, and paper came from trees. And are ornaments supposed to be like the fruit on the tree of knowledge?
Now, when you steal something, you're required to put it back.
I don't think that's stealing, that's borrowing. Adam simply borrowed an apple from the tree. It's okay, this goes exactly where you think it goes.
Remember that swaddling cloth?
Of course I do. How could I forget the swaddling cloth? So God hangs Christmas trees in his house, trees are made of wood, Christ was crucified on a wooden cross, early Christmas trees were decorated with fruit, and God's dog laps up the water from under the tree.
So when you walk into a Christmas tree lot, I want you to see hundreds of crosses.
Sorry, can't do that, Kirk. We all use plastic trees now, with plastic ornaments instead of fruit. We're all terrible Christians. Why doesn't he just cut out the middleman and hang up giant crosses in his house instead of trees?
So when you see empty Christmas trees, see an empty cross. And when you see the empty cross, see the empty cloths lying in an empty tomb.
Perhaps you could even light the crosses on fire to let the whole town know that your love for Christ burns brighter than any human flame. She's so interested in the cross that on the cover, she's not even looking at the cross. She's looking at the Christmas tree, probably because she just wants her presents. Glad I'm not the only one that's speechless.
That's pretty cool.
I want what you're smoking.
I didn't see that.
Hey, I didn't see it either.
That's because it was hidden in your ass that you completely pulled it out of. Coming up next, Christian is about to complain that Starbucks coffee doesn't feature the actual Virgin Mary's breast milk. Or he's just gonna complain about Santa.
That's the guy. Santa. That's obliterated Jesus. Jesus is gone.
Have you hit puberty yet? What is with your voice? Though I would expect a child to make this argument.
S-A-N-T-A. Rearrange letters. Satan. Santa, Satan. Same letters.
Right?
Right. Coincidence?
Yeah, because coincidences totally don't exist in this movie's universe, and two words can't possibly have the same letters. That's why in reality, God is a dog. Hell, between their stuttering and their pausing, I think they're just trying to make this movie longer.
You better watch out. You better not pout. You better not cry. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
What's the next
He
line
knows
say?
when you are sleeping.
You're stalling, movie. You're stalling to make an 80-minute running time.
This is a complete hijacking. This is a hijacking, high-handed, hijacking, handedness jacking. It's like a carjacking, but like of our religion.
You're still stalling. And you know how I know this isn't a Christmas hijacking? Because John McClane isn't here. But relax, people. Kirk will tell us the true meaning of Santa.
Eyes are closed. I'm looking at it. I see him. Hold on. I see his face.
By the way, Santa's apparently not only Big Brother, but also terrifying. Why does Uncle Bill look like Kirk Cameron's murder face?
The real Santa Claus was a real bad, bad dude. And when I say bad, I mean bad in the good way.
So he's Billy Bob Thornton as Bad Santa? Fantastic. Kirk ain't gonna shit right for a week. It's about time this movie got to its real point, beating Christmas into the masses with your fists. And much like Kirk and Christian stalling in the car, this shot just keeps going.
Now, if I tried to show you how this really happened, you'd see a lot of guys in robes, wearing tall hats, carrying scepters, and swinging incense everywhere. It'd be a mess.
Ooh, Santa's gonna fist a motherfucker. This ain't the Santa story I know.
I want you to imagine this a little more Lord of the Ringsy.
And by Lord of the Rings, I mean The Hobbit. And by The Hobbit, I mean Russian The Hobbit. They both have about the same length and the same budget. Kirk tells us the story of St. Nicholas of Myra, who was part of the First Council of Nicaea and one of the authors of the Nicene Creed, part of which establishes Jesus as the divine Son of God. But there were leaders in the church who began to deny Jesus was the Son of God, and we can all thank St. Nicholas for Jesus being the reason for the season, because St. Nicholas beat the shit out of enemies of the faith. And notice the heretics are played by the same actors who play the conspiracy theorists, so the movie is equating the war on Christmas with heresy. Even Kirk Cameron wants you to shut up about your coffee cups. The problem here isn't that they don't believe, it's that they don't believe enough.
In the beginning was the Word.
And that word is pain. There is a certain problem with this. Cat Whisperer is supposedly playing Arius, who legend has it was struck by St. Nicholas during this very debate. Only Arius wouldn't have been allowed in the debate proceedings because Arius was not a bishop. But who gives a shit? Let's see Santa beat the fuck out of a guy.
And it was not the time for this pastor to go soft on truth or stay quiet for the sake of being politically correct.
Yes, 4th century AD was truly the most politically correct time in our history. I blame Tumblr. And who the fuck is this servant of his?
Oh, look who it is. Better? You get that out of your system?
Why do even the PG-rated Christmas movies I do on here also feature Santa murdering people? And why does it look like it's me playing Santa?
Come on. Let's go bless some kids tonight. We've got gifts to give.
Well, you seem like you should be on the same watch list as Uncle Bill. Now I know why you have to go down the chimney. No one is gonna let you in their front door. And let me guess, this blows Christian's mind.
Santa is the man.
Now let's go beat up some atheists and bomb an abortion clinic. Christian has now fully embraced the Christmas spirit, and we're only 50 minutes into this. There's still a half hour left. Why? The movie's over.
Do me a favor. Go back in, say like, Christian got a rash or something, like I broke out in something, like I had like some eggnog. Tell him that I had no idea that was allergic to. I was like, eggnog. I couldn't, and like it's
Someone
like
spiked the
an
eggnog.
axe of flat.
Oh, that's why. More stalling. Kirk suggests that Christian be the one who goes back inside and saves the Christmas spirit of the party. Yeah, that'll liven things up. Tell him about your new fondness for swaddling clothes and heretic beatings. Or just march inside and act like a madman.
Whoa! Looks like somebody's having a moment.
First things first, you out! It's the part Kirk was born to play. The bad angel who sits atop your shoulder. Why else would you interrupt the party like a lunatic and go so overboard with sliding into the presents that even the N64 kid would tell you to tone it the fuck down? And speaking of the presents, Kirk forgot to tell us about the presents.
When you see them from this perspective, imagine the New Jerusalem.
Looks more like Reno, Nevada to me. If you just admitted that you like buying shit, I'd respect you more, Kirk. This goes on so long, it suggests he's laying on the floor for a solid 3 minutes. Makes sense. Kirk has to get the rest of his points in.
This tree, full of healing leaves.
Some would call them needles.
This is doing what God does. He has always been giving gifts to his children at the base of trees. Abraham was given the gift of a son at the oaks of Mamre.
So does Kirk test his children by asking them to destroy their new Nintendo Wii U? Now Christian has become that annoying Christmas guy that nobody wants to be around. He takes a picture with creepy Santa, where Kirk is sometimes in the shot and sometimes in the doorway, but Christian's wife is always walking in slow motion while he's in fast motion, so I guess she walks as slow as he slides. If this movie ends in divorce, it'll be the most realistic thing in the film. Look, he even got his soldier representing Herod's men wanting to murder all the newborn babies at Kirk's party. Herod's soldiers were experts at cracking nuts open with their mouth. And who cares if that's not what the Nutcracker represents?
We need to infuse old symbols with new meaning.
New? New? So you're admitting you just made all this shit up?
We need to tell our children new stories. We need to be bold.
So do you not actually believe any of this shit you just told me? I've seriously gotta ask, is Kirk Cameron the greatest troll who ever lived? The man just made a movie linking Christmas traditions to the Bible, and then he said it's all just some new stories he created. So Kirk Cameron is either the craziest man who walked the planet, or he's a comedic genius. He may have found the true meaning of Christmas, but what do you get for the man who has 2 gigantic refrigerators in his kitchen?
And this Christmas, I want to give you something I've been wanting to give you for a long time.
Holy shit, he's 3 times bigger than she is. He's gonna split her in half.
What do you got in mind, Big Papa?
Those 2 fucking in front of their family would be the least awkward thing that just happened.
I mean, if you were writing this story right now, what would you want to have happen?
Kirk, I'm the wrong person to ask that question to. But even I couldn't have come up with something like this.
I went ahead and just organized a hip-hop dance crew that encompasses all the joy and gospel burst and excitement that I alone as one man just cannot express.
What? Huh?
Angels we have burned all night, sweetly singing o'er the flames.
What the fuck am I wearing? How is it that a man like Darren Doan, who spent the 90s directing music videos, could be so bad at directing choreographed dance? Dancin' It's On has better dancing than this, so I guess that's the one thing Dancin' It's On did better than Saving Christmas. Oh, and there's still 20 minutes left of the movie. The rest of it is filled with them getting fined with about a dozen noise complaints. And be honest, this scene only partly exists so Kirk can show us that he knows how to do the worm. Part of me wants to believe this is Darren Doan trolling us by seeing if he can get Kirk to say the craziest shit on camera. But then again, one of Doan's most recent tweets is the only oath of loyalty liberals want you to take is full commitment to the LGBTQYSTD lifestyle. Dude! And they have no problem forcing it. Okay, Chief, I just think gay people deserve equal rights and should be allowed to get married. You made a movie where a guy nearly beat a man to death because he didn't believe enough. And his wife still looks like she wants that divorce. You know it's the voice of the angels when it has to be auto-tuned. And after seriously 5 minutes of dancing, they've all had enough.
All right, everybody, let's feast!
Fuad Ramses puts on a more appetizing feast than Kirk Cameron. But let's leave Uncle Bill here. He pissed himself for the 3rd time.
Well, that's why I show up for these parties.
To witness white people acting crazy? Oh, I concur. Also, who the fuck are you? And why isn't he invited to the dinner table? Sounds like they have enough.
Pull out your best dishes, your finest linens, your nicest silverware, the biggest ham. Every side dish you can possibly imagine, and the richest butter.
God damn it! Gluttony! Greed! What the fuck, Kirk?
But remember, this is a celebration of the eternal God taking on a material body. So it's right that our holiday is marked with material things.
Okay, Kirk, fine. I'll get you that PS4 you wanted. You didn't need to make the most materialistic Christmas movie ever made to talk me into buying you a present. I'm glad Christian is no longer thinking about how many mouths they can feed with this money. That would really ruin their appetite. And why buy 2 gigantic fridges if you can't have a year's worth of leftovers? This is truly representative of the Christian spirit. That and Kirk Cameron winking at us. Oh, don't go anywhere. There's still 10 minutes of the movie left. You didn't think you'd get out of here without seeing Darren Doan acting grumpy in the outtakes? Or more stalling?
We done been here before. My people have been through enough. I think you're Jewish, so your people have been through enough too. We all done been through it.
Oh, so he really was saying words when the music was playing over him. He wasn't saying sentences, but he was saying words. And speaking of random words that will stick with you this holiday season...
Cameron, Kirk Cameron, it be the Cam Fam.
That is the whitest rap since MC Search. Tom Hanks' son can find better things to rap about than Kirk Cameron. Not surprising to most people, Saving Christmas didn't go over so well with critics and audiences. The movie still has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes and was awarded 4 Razzies, including Worst Picture. Michael Bay beat out Darren Doan for Worst Director, not because he's a worse director, but because Michael Bay's name spells out Michael Bay. For a while, the movie even rode the wave of being the #1 worst film of all time on IMDb's bottom 100. I say it's not surprising to most people because it was at least surprising to one person, Kirk Cameron. Cameron would respond to the negative reviews by going on Facebook and urging people to upvote the movie's audience rating because, quote, we decide what we want our families to see. That'll teach those critics. For far too long, they've been forcing you to watch movies that you don't want your family to see. This, however, didn't work, as Saving Christmas currently holds a 31% audience score on RT, and just to give a comparison, A Medea Christmas has 70%. But Cameron later wrote that off as saying it was just a hate campaign led by haters and atheists. Okay, while I do agree that there were plenty of people out there who downvoted this movie without having seen it, number one, you asked people to upvote it, and I'm sure you didn't give a shit if they'd seen it or not. And two, the movie really is that bad. It's a really bad movie. Really bad. Really, really bad. But it's so batshit in its insanity that it's worth watching in the same way that maybe you'd spend an extra minute listening to a crazy person on a street corner shouting into a microphone. You're just here for the spectacle. But let's call this movie what it really is. Kirk Cameron and company wanting to ride the wave of recent successful religious films by cheaply filming his own family Christmas party and putting it out in theaters to make an instant profit. Because after all, acting surprised that Kirk Cameron said something crazy is like watching a riff show where two people dress as Mario and Luigi and beat the shit out of a Jesus Santa hybrid, and then being surprised when it isn't a proper analytical review of the film.
Christmas time is here. Come and celebrate the best time of the year. The jingle bells are ringing and the carolers are singing their Christmas songs. The Christmas time has come. Can you hear the little...
Ooh, work, Holy Spirit. Ha! Can I get an amen? I see some scales are falling off. Glory! Ah, glory.